What's up, Diabetes family, and welcome back to another edition of Diabetes Kitchen. I'm not going to talk too much, I'm just going to jump right into it. Pasta is a staple ingredient in many households, and it's no surprise why. It's easy to cook, versatile, and can be paired with endless flavor combinations. If you're looking for a vegan pasta recipe to add to your summer meal rotation, look no further. Here is one of my favorite pasta recipes that is perfect for the summer. This is my pesto pasta with tomatoes. Now with this recipe, we are going to need about 2 cups of basil. I love basil so much. It has so many health benefits and it tastes amazing. You feel me? You're also going to need pine nuts. The best way to do this is toast your pine nuts before you add it to your food processor. And also you're going to need about 1/4 cup of olive oil for this recipe as well. And last but not least, we're going to need about 3 cloves of garlic, but you know we're not going to follow those instructions. You know your boy likes garlic, so I say go crazy when it comes to garlic. You feel me? All right, so first thing we're going to do is we are going to toast our pine nuts. I like to toast them because it actually gives the pesto a little bit more of a texture, if that makes sense. And it gives it a better flavor than actually putting, raw pine nuts inside the food processor. So make sure you guys toast them. And when we toast them, we're going to toast them for about, 2 to 3 minutes. Toast them, don't burn them. Toast them, don't burn them. Now, once you have your pine nuts nice and toasted, we're just going to add it to a container of our choosing. I chose this little glass cup, but if you just have a container, that's fine as well. We just want to set it to the side so we can keep our organization up. You feel me? So now it's time for the garlic. Like I said in the intro, let's be generous when it comes to the garlic. I know the recipe says about 3 cloves. That's for the people that really don't like garlic too much, but I am a garlic lover, so you know what I mean? I'm going super crazy when it comes to the garlic. So yes. I can remember a time when I first fell in love with pesto, right? I was in the kitchen with my mom, or actually I was downstairs, and the kitchen was smelling so fragrant with all these different types of ingredients like the garlic, the basil, the olive oil. And, I ran upstairs because I'm thinking like pasta's not supposed to be smelling like this. I mean, it is, but it isn't. But the freshness of this pasta, it just like threw me in a whirlwind. And from that day on, I was 10 years old at the time. And that day on, like, all I've ever wanted in a pasta with pesto. Pesto is just like hands down my favorite type of pasta that I'll eat. Now back to the cooking show. So we're gonna add about 2 cups of basil inside the food processor. Depending on like how strong your food processor is, like I would do it like, maybe a bushel at a time. And then we're going to add our toasted pine nuts, and then look how much garlic your boy did. Like, I'm sorry, I just went crazy on the garlic. Once we have all those ingredients in, we're not going to add our olive oil in yet. We're just going to give it a nice little spin, make sure everything is nicely mixed and infused together like so. Well, to your liking. I like to make sure everything is nicely chopped up first before I add my olive oil. And this is where you add your olive oil in, and this binds and brings everything together. Now, as you can see from the top view, is looking amazing. It's looking nice and green. And ladies and gentlemen, the kitchen is smelling so fragrant right now. I am ready to just put this on a piece of bread and eat it as is. But I got to do what I do. So what we're going to do is we're going to salt to taste. We're going to use our Himalayan pink sea salt. And we're going to add just a few pinches of Himalayan sea salt to the pesto. This is going to give it a little bit of flavor. Ladies and gentlemen, this recipe doesn't take long at all to make. It's just a few ingredients. And if you do like things spicy, I suggest you add some chili flakes to this. You know what I'm saying? And as you see, as the video progresses, I'm going to be adding chili flakes throughout the rest of this video because I like things spicy. You don't have to do it. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? So once we have the chili flakes in, we're going to give it a nice little spin and we are done, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take this blade out and let's see what we came up with. I got to make sure every bit of that pesto just gets left in that container. Now, I did this video for a few reasons. Reason number one is it's pesto season. You know what I mean? Basil is growing and this is my favorite type of season. You know what I'm saying? Also is, have you seen the price of pesto? I'm trying to save y'all some bread, dinero, lucci, cheese, however you say it. I'm trying to save it for you. And as you can see, I'm scraping every single bit of this pesto out as much as I can get in here. And the amount that we spent on the ingredients of getting it, we saved ourselves a bunch of money. So you are welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are so welcome. So we're just going to add it to a glass container until we get to our next step. We can put this, off in the fridge somewhere, or you can put it, somewhere out of the way. But just make sure you put it in a glass container. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is about that time. It's time to make our pasta. Now, you guys can get the brand that I got, which is the cauliflower pasta, which gives you about 23 grams of protein. I'm not going to lie to you and say it tastes just like your regular pasta. It doesn't, but it's better for you. So you can do this recipe with regular pasta or the pasta that I'm using. Now we're going to bring this water to a boil. And once we bring it to the boil, we're going to add our pasta. Make sure you read the instructions on the box of your pasta to know the time that you're supposed to have it in there for. Mine said about 7 to 8 minutes, so I'm sticking with that one. Once the pasta is inside your pot, we're just going to give it a nice little mix and make sure, there's no clumps or anything in there. Make it sure it's nice and loose. We're going to put the top on and we're going to boil it for about 8 to 7 minutes. And that 8 to 7 minutes is up. So again, we're going to give it a nice little mix. Make sure everything is all good and it's looking nice and good from here. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. See how beautiful that pasta looks. Again, it's not going to be as good as your regular pasta that you're used to eating, but it does the job, ladies and gentlemen. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it over to the sink, put it into our colander, run some cold water over it, and make sure it stops cooking. Just like this. Now, let's bring everything together, ladies and gentlemen. First, we are going to add just a little bit of olive oil because there's already olive oil inside of our pesto. So we're just going to add just a little bit of olive oil, make sure the bottom is nicely coated, just like so. And yes, y'all already know I'm going to hit it with the chili flakes, just quick dusting of the chili flakes. And then we're going to add our tomatoes. Now these are these little cherry tomatoes. We're going to cut them in halves and we're going to cook them before we put anything else in the pot. But before that, we're just going to cut them in halves just like this. I should have did it before, but I had a bunch of stuff going on. You know what I mean? I'm over here filming and cooking, and I can't do everything all at once. But anyways, we're gonna put them to the pan and give it that nice little sizzle. We're gonna cook them all the way down. Now with your wooden spatula, we're just gonna move everything around. Make sure everything is nicely coated with the tomatoes and the chili flakes with the olive oil, and just cook these tomatoes down. You know what I mean? Give it about a minute, maybe a minute to 2 minutes before we start adding our other ingredients in. And speaking of adding our ingredients, we're going to add our freshly made pesto. There's nothing like freshly made pesto, ladies and gentlemen. I will never, ever buy pesto in the store now that I know how to make pesto. And I hope now that you know how to make pesto, you will never buy it in the store because it's that easy to make. So we're gonna mix the pesto with the tomatoes and the chili flakes all in this pot. And it's already smelling so good, ladies and gentlemen. And then we're gonna add our pasta. Now with the pasta, once we add the pasta, we're pretty much done. All we're doing now is we're just folding everything together, making sure everything is nicely infused. Make sure the pasta has every single bit of the pesto on it. So take your time with this, ladies and gentlemen. This is something that you're gonna be eating with your families and your friends. So we gotta take our time with this part. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are all done. I would like to take the time and thank each and every one of you guys for taking the time and watching this video. You guys could be anywhere in the world, but today you decided to be right here with me. And for that, I thank you. Please make sure that you like, you subscribe, and you click the bell so you know every time I drop a brand new video. And also, please don't forget, if you eat good, you live good, and you feel good. Holla at ya, boy. Peace.